The ice in my mother's glass cracked like a gunshot when I walked through the patio doors. Every conversation died mid-sentence. Cousin Marisol dropped her shrimp skewer. Uncle Thayer's cigar ash drifted onto his linen pants, burning a hole he didn't notice. And Cairo. God, my brother's face went gray like he'd just watched his own coffin lower into the ground. Zara? My mother's voice wavered, her manicured fingers digging into Cairo's shoulder. The same fingers that used to grip my arm hard enough to leave crescent moon bruises when I embarrassed her at church picnics. I didn't blink, just let my chipped black boot heels click against the flagstones as I walked deeper into their perfect backyard oasis, the one Dad built after selling my college fund. String lights glowed above the hors d'oeuvres table where they displayed framed photos of Cairo's accomplishments. State championship trophy, Dean's List certificate, not one picture of me. Aunt Wren stood suddenly, her chair screeching. Baby girl, don't. My voice carried sharper than I'd intended. The toddler at the dessert table started crying. Good, let them squirm. Mom recovered first, smoothing her silk blouse. We thought you were, well, wherever you needed to be. Her smile tightened. Ran out of money, didn't you? The lie hung thick in the air. I could still smell the hospital antiseptic clinging to my thrift store jacket. 3 weeks of physical therapy, 2 surgeries, and not a single visitor. Not even when the nurses called. I tilted my head, mimicking her icy calm. Funny, I thought you'd ask about the car. Cairo's champagne flute shattered on the bricks. 4 months earlier. Our kitchen always smelled like lemons and lies. Mom scrubbed the counters raw every morning while listing my failures like a rosary. Community college, diner job, that god-awful eyeliner. That night, she added a new bead. Pathetic. She slammed the microwave shut, her diamond wedding band scratching the handle. Sneaking out like some truck stop addict. I stared at the burnt pizza rolls. My shift at Benny's Diner had ended at 2 a.m., but she'd woken up just to hiss about my muddy sneakers by the door. I'm 19. Mom, not 12. Her hand moved faster than I could duck. The slap burned hotter than the oven. Don't you dare. I didn't wait for the rest. The screen door whined behind me as I stumbled into the October chill, still wearing my grease-stiffened uniform. Let her fume. Let Cairo smirk through his vodka haze in the next room. I'd walk it off like always. The shortcut behind the abandoned gas station used to scare me as a kid. That night, the skeletal pumps felt like old friends. Headlights blinded me halfway across the cracked pavement. Tires screeched, metal kissed bone. Then, nothing but ambulance sirens and a nurse saying, "You're lucky, honey. The driver didn't stop." Present day. You told them I ran away. My words sliced through the party chatter. Someone's phone started recording. Even after the hospital called. Even when they said I couldn't remember my own name for weeks. Dad finally looked up from his scotch. Enough dramatics, Zara. You've always... What? I yanked up my sweater sleeve, revealing the jagged scar from my compound fracture. Gasps erupted. Cairo's varsity jacket was stuck in the grill. You think they didn't DNA test that? My brother backed into the punch bowl, red liquid soaking his pristine Jordans. His fiancée Lyra stared at him like he'd morphed into a stranger. Babe, is this why your dad paid off those cops? Chaos erupted. Aunt Wren grabbed my shaking hands, real tears in her eyes now. I tried calling every hospital, but your mom blocked my number. Swore you texted her you were starting fresh. I pulled the folded police report from my back pocket. The one they'd buried, the one I'd dug up from an evidence locker after bribing a janitor with my last $80. Starting fresh? I tossed it onto the cake table, chocolate roses smearing the words, vehicular assault. Try surviving. They broke my screen door at 7:17 a.m. Not metaphorically, Cairo's Nike left a sneaker-shaped hole in the mesh when I refused to buzz them in. What the hell, Nova? He shouted, shoving past me into the AC-blasted living room where gender reveal confetti still clung to the walls like ironic glitter. Mom marched in behind him, Bible tucked under her arm like a weapon. This childish stunt ends now. Her eyes darted to the dismantled balloon arch, the wilted cupcakes. You knew we had Anna's shower. Couldn't you have picked another weekend? Ren collapsed onto my couch. My white linen sectional. I'd paid off working weekends at the hospital without removing her grass-stained sneakers. Ellie's school just called. They revoked her hot lunch account because someone, she glared at me, canceled the auto pay. The baby flipped violently under my ribs, a warning. I canceled your auto pay, I corrected, steadying myself against the fridge. Ellie's 7. She can make a sandwich. Mom's gasp filled the room. After everything we've done for you, who drove you to prenatal yoga last month? Lyft driver Greg, I said flatly. Cost $14.75 plus tip. Caro snorted, scrolling through his dead phone. Dramatic much? It's just money. Just money? The words tore out of me sharp as C-section scissors. Like the $8,300 I paid for your DUI lawyer? Or the $12K loan for your failed sneaker resale biz? I turned to Ren. Or the $46K in emergency Venmos that always came after your Maui selfies? Silence. Mom recovered first. Proverbs 21:26. The godly love to give. You're blessed to be a blessing, Nova. The baby kicked again, harder. I'm broke, Mom. Do you know what high-risk prenatal care costs without insurance? Why do you think I've been wearing the same 4 maternity dresses? Ren rolled her eyes. You've got savings. Had. I yanked open the junk drawer, scattering receipts. $187K over 6 years. Know what I have left? $3,112. Enough for diapers or Mom's mortgage, not both. I shoved the papers at them, highlighted lines glowing like neon accusations. Pick which grandchild starves. Cairo palmed the DUI invoice. You kept track? Every cent. My laugh sounded unhinged even to me. Turns out playing? Family ATM requires spreadsheets. Mom's Bible thumped onto the counter. We're your blood. You don't charge family interest. No? I pulled up Zelle on my cracked phone. Then why'd Ren charge me $50 convenience fee last Christmas for depositing her rent check late? Ren's blush clashed with her neon sports bra. That's different. The doorbell rang again. Ellie stood there alone, backpack, straps digging into her narrow shoulders. Aunt Nova? Her whisper cut through the tension like ultrasound gel. My iPad won't connect to school Wi-Fi. Ren swooped in, manicured claws gripping Ellie's arm. See what you've done? She's failing remote math. The lie ignited something primal. Ellie's school is 3 blocks away. You made her do remote learning because you hate carpool lines. I knelt, ignoring the sciatica screaming down my leg. Want to stay here, Bug? I'll drive you. No. Ren yanked Ellie back so hard the child stumbled. You don't get to play hero after nuking our lives. Mom's ringtone blared. Amazing Grace. She answered on speaker. Pastor Jim, we're dealing with a situation. Actually, I plucked the phone from her hand. Let's ask him. Pastor, if a woman's family skips her baby shower to party with cousins, then demands she fund their luxuries, what would Jesus do? Cairo lunged for the phone. I ducked, belly brushing the counter's edge. Nova? Pastor Jim's voice boomed. Your mother mentioned you're struggling with feminine humility. Let's pray. I hung up. They left in a cloud of engine revs and condemnation, Ellie's face pressed to the Lexus window. I was scrubbing Cairo's sneer mark off my door when the real text came. Unknown, 12:44 p.m. Saw the fireworks. You? Okay. Attached was a photo of Ren's shattered taillight from where she'd reversed into my mailbox. I squinted at the number. Kevin. Ren's ex. Ellie's dad. Me, 12:45 p.m. Since when do you have my now? Kevin, 12:45 p.m. Since you became the only adult in that family, need anything? The baby somersaulted. I hesitated, then typed. Me, 12:46 p.m. Advice on cheap cribs? His reply was instant. Kevin, 12:46 p.m. My truck's full of hand-me-downs. Ellie picked the least sticky toys. Kevin's truck smelled like old fries and honest sweat. He unloaded a car seat still sticky with apple juice, holding it away from his ACU pants like a live grenade. Ellie sanitized it, he lied, scratching the scar through his eyebrow, the one Ren gave him during their custody fight. I eyed the dented bassinet. If this is pity, it's survival. He tossed me a onesie printed with Daddy's wingman. Keep that for when she's colicky. Works like a truth serum. The baby kicked as we hauled boxes into the nursery. By the third trip, my vision blurred at the edges. You good? Kevin paused, a pack-and-play tilted on his shoulder. Just Braxton Hicks. I leaned against the wall, counting seconds. Between phantom contractions. 7, 12. Not consistent. Had one during Ren's gender reveal, too. She made me DJ while her epidural wore off. Kevin's jaw tightened. She told everyone I missed Ellie's birth because I was deployed. Truth? I was in the parking lot. Ren barred me for breathing too loud. My phone buzzed. Mom, urgent family meeting. 7 p.m. I silenced it. They'll say I'm tearing us apart. Funny. Kevin snapped the crib legs into place. From where I'm standing, you're the only one holding anything together. The next buzz came from Instagram. Ren had posted a carousel. Ellie crying over a cold lunch sack. When family fails you. Mom praying over my childhood Bible. Lost sheep. 3. Cairo's disconnected iPhone. Broken bonds. Family first trended in the comments. Don't. Kevin blocked my view with a teething ring. They're fishing for guilt. But I clicked. And saw it. Buried in the likes. Avalon Foster. Cousin. Nova always was the selfish one. The room tilted. Whoa! Kevin caught my elbow as my knees buckled. Nova? Nova! Contraction, 54 seconds. Call 911, I gasped, but he was already lifting me, army style, despite the belly between us. Where's your hospital bag? Closet, blue duffel. He sprinted, combat boots thudding, while I focused on the ceiling crack that looked like Ellie's crayon scribbles. Not yet. Too soon. Breathe. The ER triage nurse raised an eyebrow at Kevin's infantry dad shirt. Husband? Neighbor, I panted. Babysitter, he corrected, handing over my insurance card. She's allergic to bullshit. Also, shellfish. They strapped monitors to my belly. Whoosh, 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 filled the room. D-cells, the OB muttered during a contraction. Heartbeat dropping from 140 to 90. When's your last ultrasound? 2 weeks ago. They said, get her to L&D now. Kevin's hand found mine as they wheeled me out. Rough. Steady. Text Mia, I begged. Password's Ellie's birthday. On it. What else? The ceiling lights streaked past. If they ask about emergency contacts, I'll be your babysitter. His grin didn't reach his eyes. They gave me the magnesium drip, the one that makes you feel like your veins are full of lava. Mia arrived in scrubs, still holding a half-eaten protein bar. Families outside. Want security? Who? All of them, even Pastor Jim with a praying for you balloon. The monitor screamed again. Heartbeat. 68. Get them out, Mia barked at a resident. Stress is crashing her BP. I faded in and out. Snippets. Placental abruption, 32 weeks, or 4 stat. Ren's voice in the hall. I'm her sister. She'd want me there. Kevin's? Growl. She wants you to combust. Then cold steel against my belly, mask over my face. Count backwards, Nova. 10, 9. Ren's gel nails digging into my arm at Dad's funeral. 8, 7. Mom taking the life insurance check. 6, 5. Cairo's smirk when I paid his bail. 4, 3. Ellie's sticky hand in mine. 2, 1. The first. Cry sounded like a wounded kitten. Apgar 3. Needing resuscitation. Give her to me. My arms ached through the numbness. Please. They bundled her. Purple, silent, tubes everywhere, against my chest for 3 seconds, before whisking her to NICU. Mia pressed her forehead to mine. She's fighter-sized, 3 pounds, 12 ounces. Kevin appeared in scrubs he hadn't earned, holding my cracked phone. They're live tweeting this. Ren's post. Pray for my niece. Prematurity is God's reminder to obey family. I tasted magnesium and rage. Give me that. My fingers shook, but the tweet went viral. Anyway, Nova and Foster, 3 libbies of miracle versus 300 libs of dead weight. We're good here. The NICU hummed with machines that beeped in rhythms I'd started to decode. Steady meant calm, staccato meant trouble. My fingers trembled through the incubator's porthole, tracing the wires taped to my daughter's translucent skin. Marley, her hospital bracelet read. Not the name I'd picked, but it fit. Tiny warrior princess battling a world already set against her. Kevin slid a coffee across the bedside table, spiked with oat milk. Nurse Ratched said no caffeine, but he nodded to the security feed on my phone, Mom and Ren arguing with hospital staff at the entrance. Figured you need fuel. They've been here 4 hours, I muttered. Marley's foot, smaller than a matchbox car, twitched at the sound of Ren's shrill, "I'm the godmother," echoing down the hall. Mia stormed in, stethoscope, swinging. They're threatening to sue for visitation rights. Cairo's filming a TikTok expose in the parking lot. She paused, softening as Marley gripped her pinky. We can transfer her to another hospital. Buy time. No. The word surprised me. I'm done running. The commotion crescendoed. Pastor Jim's voice boomed about Christian duty as security escorted Mom's squad to my door. Ren pressed her Louis Vuitton against the glass. Look at her. She needs real family, Nova. Marley's monitor spiked. Beep, beep, beep. Kevin blocked their view, broad shoulders tense. You're stressing the baby. Our baby? Mom corrected, tears shimmering like cheap glitter. Proverbs 17:6. Grandchildren are the crown of the aged. You're stealing my crown. I stood slowly, IV pole clattering. You want to help? Venmo me $12,000 for the NICU deposit. Cairo snorted. We're not made of... Exactly. I tapped the payment portal on my phone. But I was. For 6 years. Ren's mascara bled into her Botox frown. This isn't about money, it's about legacy. The social worker arrived with a clipboard. Ms. Foster, are these individuals safe for the child to... No. I didn't blink. They're fiscal parasites with a savior complex. Mom's Bible hit the floor. Thud. You'll burn for this! Marley's alarm screamed. Beep, beep, beep! Out! Mia barked, shoving the family into the hall. Or I'll have you arrested for neonatal harassment. Kevin stayed, forehead, pressed to the incubator. Kids got your lungs. Nightfall brought quiet and bad news. The neonatologist scrolled Marley's scans. Bleeding in the brain, grade 2 IVH. The world narrowed to the black and white images, swirls of gray matter, tiny, dark bloom. Outcomes? 50% develop normally, 30% have mild delays, 20%. She hesitated. Seizures, cerebral palsy. I vomited into the biohazard bin, magnesium burning my sinuses. Kevin held back my hair. Breathe. She's tougher than those odds. My phone lit up with Ren's latest post. GoFundMe for abandoned NICU angel, 18K, 50K. Ellie's comment glowed underneath. Aunt. Nova's nice. Stop lying. It was deleted in seconds. Kevin grabbed my wrist. Don't engage. Too late. Nova, Foster. Keep the kakinian. Use it for elocution lessons so God recognizes your prayers. The backlash was instant. Relatives I hadn't seen since Dad's. Funeral flooded my DMs. Cousin Avalon. You're possessed by bitterness. Uncle Merrick. Your mother's having chest pains. Happy now? At 3 a.m., a nurse shook me awake. Your daughter's stable. Go shower. You smell like regret. The bathroom. Mirror showed a stranger. Bruised eyes, milk-stained shirt, a necklace of electrode burns. I turned the water, scalding. scrubbing until my skin matched the NICU's antiseptic pink. Kevin's knuckles rapped the door. You decent? Depends on your definition. He slid a onesie under the steam. Daddy's wingman, now read, Mommy's. Co-pilot in Sharpie. Ellie's edit, Kid's a regular Banksy. The first real laugh since delivery hurt. She's better than all of us. Nah. He leaned against the sink. She's just got you. They tried to serve me papers at the breast pump station. A process server in a world's best grandma apron slapped custody documents into my hands while I was hooked up to the industrial-grade milker. Petition for grandparent visitation. Rights, he droned, avoiding eye contact with the bottles filling beside him. Kevin intercepted the next attempt, a fake florist delivery with subpoenas hidden among lilies. Classy, he said, dumping the bouquet into a Sharps container. But the real blow came via email. Foster v. Foster, emergency hearing request. Attached was Mom's affidavit. Nova is unstable. She talks to herself and sleeps in parking lots. Mia translated the legalese over decaf. They're weaponizing your NICU vigils. Say you've got persecution complex. I stared. At Marley's new MRI, the hemorrhage shrinking, her fist raised like a boxer mid-punch. Can they win? In Texas? Judges love blood ties. Mia hesitated. Unless we prove harm. The door burst open. Ren, flanked by a camera crew. We're here for the family reconnection segment. Reality TV vultures. Of course. Ms. Foster? The host shoved a mic in my face. Your sister says you're denying your mother access to her miracle grandbaby. Kevin body blocked them, phone recording. Consent laws, dickheads. You're trespassing. Chaos erupted. Marley's alarms blared. Security tackled a sound guy into the hand sanitizer dispenser. Through it all, Mom knelt praying by the incubator. Deliver her from this bitterness, Lord. I lost it. You want a miracle? I ripped off her pearl necklace, the one I'd paid off after Dad died. Beads scattered like shrapnel. Marley's alive, despite your stress. She's fighting. Because I fought. Where's your faith? The room froze. Even the monitors held their breath. Mom's whisper cut deeper than any sermon. I wish it had been you. The admission hung, rancid. Kevin's fist cracked the wall. Mia covered Marley's isolette. When I hemorrhaged at 20 weeks, Mom continued, icy calm, your father begged God to spare you over me. You've been making me pay ever since. The NICU nurse's pen clattered. Kevin looked ill. Marley saved me, a gurgle, then her first unassisted cry. Feeble. Perfect. Out, I rasped. All of you. They left, but the damage lingered. Kevin scrubbed Mom's perfume from the chairs while I traced Marley's eyebrow. Mine, down to the arch. At 3 a.m., my phone buzzed. Ellie using Kevin's number. Aunt Nova PL's come get me. A location pin. Bus station. 12 miles away. Kevin found me pulling IV needles from my arm. You're not discharged. Ellie's alone. I'll go. He grabbed car keys. Text her. Uncle Kev's en route. Code word? Me. Pickle juice. Ellie. Dinosaur nuggets. He vanished. The waiting was worse than labor. I paced, imagining every horror. Ren's retaliation, human traffickers, Mom's wrath. They returned at dawn, Ellie wrapped in Kevin's jacket, clutching a Spider-Man backpack. She was on a Greyhound to Austin, Kevin said, jaw twitching. Ren told her you stole Marley. Kid bought a ticket with Tooth Fairy money? Ellie lunged for me, sobbing into my drain bag. I don't want to be like Mom. Over her head, Kevin mouthed, CPS involved now. The social worker arrived as Ellie slept curled under Marley's isolette. We'll need to place her temporarily. No. I gripped Ellie's ankle, cold, barefoot. She stays with me. You're not kin. Kevin stepped forward. I'm her father. We'll take her. The lie slipped out smoothly. Too smoothly. Ellie woke, blinking. "Daddy?" He didn't flinch. "Yeah, bug. We're going home." The social worker eyed our mismatched trio. Veteran, preemie, runaway. "I'll need DNA proof." Kevin handed over Ellie's birth certificate. "Father. Unknown." "Close enough," he said. The courtroom smelled like stale coffee and desperation. Mom wore her Easter hat, the one I'd financed. Wren dabbed non-existent tears with a monogrammed handkerchief I'd embroidered during her divorce. Only Cairo looked genuine, pale, jittery, still detoxing from the bankroll I'd severed, all rise. The judge squinted at our ragtag bench. Me in thrifted postpartum leggings, Kevin in dress blues, Ellie drawing dinosaurs on his custody petition. Marley slept in her car seat, oxygen tank wheezing softly. Mom's lawyer went first. "Your Honor, my client seeks visitation to protect this infant from her mother's documented instability. Objection." Mia stood, crisp in her hospital CEO blazer. "I've submitted NICU logs showing Ms. Foster hasn't left her daughter's side for 72 hours. The real instability," she slapped down Mom's Venmo history. $12,000 in casino charges this month alone. The gallery buzzed. Wren's Botox froze mid-frown. "Irrelevant," Mom's lawyer sputtered. "We're here about the child's soul." The judge silenced him with a glare. "I've read CPS's findings. Mr. Brooks?" He nodded to Kevin. "You claim paternity of the older girl?" Kevin stood, Ellie's drawing stuck to his boot. "Not biologically, sir, but I've been her dad since Wren ghosted me at the sperm bank." Laughter erupted. The gavel cracked. "And you?" The judge turned to me. "Why deny grandparents access?" Marley chose that moment to code. Her monitor screamed, "Flatline." Blair, as Mia lunged from the gallery. "Seizure! We need lorazepam!" Chaos. Bailiffs tackled Mia for trespassing. Kevin CPR'd Marley with one hand while I screamed codes. Ellie bit a social worker. Through it all, Mom sat primly, whispering, "This is God's judgment." The ambulance ride blurred. Marley's tiny chest rose and fell with each pump of Kevin's fist. "Stay with us, fighter," he chanted, IV lines tangling around his dog tags. She stabilized in the ER. The judge visited personally, tie askew. "My granddaughter was premature," he said, staring at Marley's scarred chest. "We almost lost her." The dismissal order came via text. "Petition denied, full custody to Nova Foster, restraining order issued." Mom's scream echoed through the hospital chapel. Wren's Instagram imploded. Nag's family first became Yard financial abuse. Cairo overdosed on my front porch 3 days later. I paid for rehab anonymously. Today, Marley's monitor lights are green. Ellie calls Kevin Dad for real. The GoFundMe. Strangers Funded bought our foreclosure, a ranch with wheelchair ramps and a nursery painted like the cosmos. Last week, an envelope arrived. No return address. Inside, 1. Mom's locket with my baby hair. $18,727 cash, exact amount they'd grifted. 3. Ellie's kindergarten report card. Ellie's essay, My Hero, brought tears. I keep the cash in Marley's college fund. Burned the locket. Framed the report card. They still drive by sometimes, Wren's leased Lexus idling at our curb. Ellie waves with both middle fingers. Kevin taught her that. As for me, I'm learning to sleep without dread, to see unknown caller and not flinch, to kiss Marley's track scar and mean it when I whisper, "You're safe now." The final revenge isn't silence, it's living.